Let's jump right into it. Number 7, the guilt trip reflex. Someone asks for a favor. You want to say no, but instead you blurt out, "Sure, I'd love to help you move apartments this weekend." Now you're hauling a futon up 3 flights of stairs like you're repaying a war debt. This isn't you being polite. This is your ancient brain throwing itself in front of a social bullet. See, for our ancestors, saying no was basically a death sentence. You weren't just declining a favor. You were telling your tribe, "Good luck without me." And your tribe was like, "Cool, you're wolf food now." Back then, everyone had to pull their weight. If you didn't help with the hunt, you didn't eat. If you refused to share your firewood, you froze, and so did everyone else. So your brain developed a survival feature, crushing guilt. It's like carrying around a little caveman lawyer in your skull whispering, "Are you sure you want to disappoint the group? That's how Greg got left behind and eaten." Fast forward to today, and that same guilt still activates. Even when the stakes are absurdly low, you agree to dog sit for a friend, even though the dog is basically a furry tornado with fangs. You lend someone your car, and spend the entire weekend checking your phone like you're waiting for a ransom note. You say yes, even when it wrecks your schedule, your energy, and your sanity. All because your brain thinks that saying no equals tribal betrayal. Your ancient instincts can't tell the difference between, "I declined helping someone move a sofa," and "I just doomed my place in the tribe and will now be eaten by wolves." But here's the truth. You're not a people pleaser. You're being emotionally blackmailed by a caveman inside your brain. Number 6, feeling jealous. Your friend gets promoted and suddenly their casual update feels like a personal attack. You smile, you say congrats, but inside your brain's like, cool, 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 so I'm a failure now. Or maybe they post vacation photos from Italy, and you start Googling affordable therapist with one hand and flights to Venice with the other. This isn't you being a villain. It's not even you being insecure. It's just your brain muttering, wait, they just leveled up in the cave rankings. Because in tribal life, rankings were survival. Everyone had to pull their weight, and their status mattered. Because a higher rank meant more protection, better food, and better mates. If someone else gained status, even a little, that pushed you one rung down. And in a tribe of 30, that could mean the difference between sleeping by the fire or next to the drafty cave entrance where wolves make surprise visits. Jealousy wasn't just a feeling, it was a survival alert. It told you when to compete, when to adapt, and when your social position was in danger. But now, that same ancient instinct misfires on LinkedIn. You're happy for your friend's success, until they post about becoming head of strategy and vibes at a startup with no product. And your brain's like, "We're unemployed, burn the village." Or your ex's new partner's hot, kind, and into pottery. And you're up at midnight scrolling Instagram like a jealous ghost. Or your coworker gets praised for a project you helped finish. Your brain goes full caveman CEO. They're rising. That means you're sinking. Fix it. Match them. Beat them. Or die. But here's the truth. You're not actually in danger. You're not jealous by choice. You're just carrying ancient ranking software that thinks someone else's win knocks you off the cave leaderboard. Number 5, clenching fists when angry. You're in an argument and suddenly realize your fists are clenched like you're about to enter a boxing match. You didn't plan it. You didn't even notice it. But your hands are locked and loaded, like your body's quietly preparing for a bar fight. This isn't just you being dramatic. It's your ancient brain loading plan B. Punch first, ask questions later. Back in caveman days, anger wasn't a mild inconvenience. It was a life or death alert. Someone insulted you? They might be trying to steal your mate, your food, or your spot in the cave. So your brain flipped a switch, heart rate up, vision tunneled, and your hands turned into 2 blunt survival tools. Clenching fists was part of that fight package. It stabilized the wrist, prepped the arm, and made sure if things went sideways, you wouldn't be swinging a floppy noodle. But now, that same reflex shows up in completely non-lethal situations. When a barista spells your name Jorb for the 3rd time. When a stranger debates your opinion like it's the Supreme Court. Or when your boss schedules a Friday 5:30 p.m. meeting and says, "Quick sync," and your fists clench like you're about to throw hands over a typo. Your caveman brain doesn't know you're in a Starbucks. It thinks you're defending the tribe's honor before a mammoth wrestling duel. So instead of talking it out, you grip the steering wheel like it owes you money, or grip your phone like you're trying to crush it into diamonds. Truth is, clenching your fists doesn't mean you're violent. It just means your Stone Age brain thinks every argument ends in a spear fight, even if it's just someone microwaving fish in the office. Number 4. Shivering when nervous or scared. You're in the waiting room before a big interview, and suddenly you're shaking like your body's trying to pop popcorn from the inside out. You're not cold, you're not sick, but your body's acting like you're about to camp naked on Mount Everest. This isn't you being weak. It's because your ancient brain just hit the danger button. Back in the tribe, going out to hunt meant you might bring home dinner, or you might be dinner. You could run into a tiger, a bear, a wolf, sometimes all in the same week. So your body didn't wait for the predator to jump out. It started shivering early, like a nervous engine warming up. So the second fear hit, your body flipped into tremor mode. Those shakes, they were your built-in adrenaline pump. Quick shivers helped warm your muscles, prime your reflexes, and make sure your legs could sprint before you even thought about running. It was like revving the engine before the race, only the race was not getting eaten by something with teeth the size of knives. But now, that same reflex shows up when there's no danger, just social dread. When you step up to give a presentation and suddenly your voice isn't the only thing shaking. Or when you accidentally like a 2015 photo while stalking someone's Instagram. Or when you're waiting for exam results to load, teeth already filing for a divorce from your jaw. And your brain's like, okay, stay loose, tiger could pounce at any second. Except there's no tiger, just your boss asking for a quick update, while you're holding a cup of coffee that's shaking like it's in an earthquake drill. Truth is, you're not falling apart, you're just running Ice Age firmware in a Wi-Fi world, and it still thinks embarrassment is a life-threatening event. Number 3. Latching onto gossip. Someone says, did you hear what happened at the office party? And suddenly your brain becomes a CIA surveillance fan. You lean in, your pupils dilate, you pretend to care about your coffee, but you are all ears, even if you're not even involved. Even if you barely know the people, you lean in like your rent depends on it. This isn't you being toxic, this isn't a personality flaw, this is evolution. Because back in the tribe, gossip wasn't drama, it was survival data. It told you who was cheating, who was stealing, who let the fire go out during a snowstorm, knowing that stuff could literally save your life. And if you were the last to know, you were the first to get voted off the island. And by island, I mean the part of the forest where predators lived. Gossip was social glue, tribal defense, and then primitive HR, all rolled into one. It helped you know who to trust, who to avoid, and who might poison the stew. But now, it makes you hyperanalyze a coworker's passive-aggressive email, like you're decoding a CIA leak, and it makes you dive deep into your boyfriend's ex's Instagram, searching for red flags that don't exist yet. Your brain is like, something's off, better scan every detail of Stacy's vacation captions until we find the lie. You're not toxic, you're not a gossip addict, you're just running ancient tribal software that thinks every rumor might save your life, because once upon a time, gossip was survival, and your brain hasn't updated since. Number 2. Laughing nervously to diffuse tension. Someone makes a weird comment at work and you laugh. Not because it was funny, but because your soul panicked. You're in a tense conversation and suddenly you're doing stand-up comedy in a hostage situation. It's that awkward half-smile, half-sob thing you do. When your soul leaves your body and says, good luck, I'm out. This isn't you being fake. It's your brain dragging out the emergency party tricks. Because back in the tribe, conflict wasn't just uncomfortable, it could get you killed. You couldn't afford tension, you couldn't afford enemies, and you definitely couldn't afford to offend that one guy who was really good with a spear. So what's the best way to stay alive when things get heated? Be the harmless one, the peacekeeper, the socially slippery eel no one wants to kill. Your nervous laugh evolved as a kind of verbal white flag, a goofy little noise that says, I'm not a threat, please don't club me. It was your ancestors' way of diffusing aggression before it turned deadly. And back then it worked, because the guy accusing you of stealing his dried lizard meat might have spared you if you looked non-threatening. But now, that same instinct turns you into a sitcom character in all the worst moments. You laugh when your boss gives critical feedback, and you're out here chuckling like a cartoon balloon losing air, and your brain's like, we smile now, we survive, we can cry in the bathroom later. You laugh when someone says something offensive at dinner. You laugh during breakups, and then you walk away thinking, why did I do that? Like your own face betrayed you, it didn't. It was just trying to survive. Because your ancient brain still thinks laughter is your last defense before a rock flies at your head. Number 1. Feeling safer in groups. You're in a creepy parking garage at night. Every sound echoes. Motion lights flicker. You grip your keys like a weapon and speed walk like it's a horror movie. Then you spot a stranger walking nearby, and weirdly you feel safer, even though they could be the reason you die. That's not logic, that's your caveman brain whispering, if the tiger comes, maybe they get eaten first. Even horror movies feel different. Watching alone? Terrifying. Watching with 3 friends and popcorn? It's practically a comedy. This isn't just you being paranoid, it's your caveman brain forming a human firewall. Back in the wild, being alone meant your personal death clock just started ticking. But in a group, you became a moving wall of eyeballs, rocks, and loud noises. Predators didn't want a fight club, they wanted takeout. So your brain evolved one rule: stick with the group or become saber-tooth sushi. That same instinct kicks in today when you fake text while waiting alone for a friend at a restaurant like you're in a spy thriller and this breadbasket's bugged. You follow strangers at night just because they're walking your way, turning them into accidental bodyguards who don't know you exist. Meanwhile, your brain's behind the scenes like, okay, don't panic, just merge with the herd. Become one of them. Moo if necessary. You're not a coward. You're not clingy. You're just operating with ancient software that thinks being alone is a death sentence, and that a Target parking lot at 9 p.m. is the Serengeti. That's all for now. Subscribe to see what's coming next, hit like, or start a comment debate. It all helps.